name is Mona Qafisheh, and I am the president of the Arizona Association for the Education of Young Children. So I am entering my second year of president, and I'm really honored to work with the board and represent the state of Arizona as an affiliate of AzAEYC.
The Buildback Better Plan advances a $400 billion investment in childcare and preschool. If passed, it would mean significant and sustained support for equitable early care and education. When you heard that the United States House of Representatives passed the Buildback Better Plan, how did you feel, or what did you think?
I was really proud of this country, that we are finally paying attention to such an important part of the education system that often gets ignored or just assumed that it's going to be there for families, and that it finally feels like there is some attention paid to a system that has really been the brunt of the hard work without any kind of support or compensation for decades. It's been underinvested and de-invested for so many generations.
Why is early care and education so important for Arizona's children and families and educators?
It's important for Arizona specifically because we have a tremendously diverse, large state. And part of living in a more rural state is that we don't always have access to resources in some of the parts of our state that other states do. And an investment, a significant financial sustained investment in early childhood for Arizona would mean that families that live in locations that don't have access to childcare would have access, would have support, would have the financial resources to be able to have their children in safe, healthy, nourishing, thriving environments when they are going to work or they are going to school or they need to be away from their children.
How will the Build Back Better Plan support early childhood educators?
Early childhood educators are not paid a living wage. They are not paid a worthy wage. They are not paid for the significance of the impact that they're able to have on their community and children and families. And we are expecting professionals to do poverty wage work with no benefits and no paid time off. And we are surprised then when they leave the field and they aren't able to financially sustain working in early childhood education for more than a few years. And investing specifically in worthy wages for early childhood educators and really investing in making those workplaces financially able to support families means that we're going to have teachers that are there for the long haul, and we're going to have people that understand children.
How can people get involved to help advance these childcare investments like the Build Back Better Plan?
The best way to get involved is always to connect with your elected officials. Find out who is your representative, find out who is your legislator, really look for the contact information for your senators in particular, as we're thinking about this bill specifically, and call their office and send emails and use their contact forms to make sure that they understand that they are an elected representative of you as a tax-paying constituent in their area, and that you are invested in early childhood education and you understand the importance of the Build Back Better Plan, and that you would like them to vote on your behalf for it, and to just really make sure that you feel comfortable reaching out and making sure that your voice is heard, because this is your tax funding that's being used.
The voices of early childhood educators are really important, it sounds like.
The voices of early childhood educators are critical to making sure that your elected officials understand how important this is to you. And you're speaking as a professional and advocating on behalf of children, but also as a community member and a legislative district resident, and also as a family. So if you have children of your own, you're able to speak as a family, that you understand the importance of early childhood education. And it really is your opportunity to become involved, and also your responsibility to really be interested in advocating on behalf of children and advocating on behalf of the field.
We know that social media is a great way to engage with elected officials, to share out information, to get other people involved and engaged. But even in the age of social media, one of the best ways to connect with a legislator is a phone call, to pick up the phone, call their office, send them an email, and really make your voice heard as an educator. Let's say someone picks up the phone, they're about ready to call their elected official, their senator, their US representative. How can folks connect with their legislators in that way? Like, what should they say on the phone or through email?
an idea of what to say to a senator or an elected official when you call their office would be to really tell your story as an early childhood educator. Talk about the children that you care for and the families that you care for, and the impact that you know you doing your job is really making on the families and the kids. And really just be transparent and open, and have a general, honest, open conversation about the way that you are changing the world on a daily basis by really being there for children and supporting their education and supporting families as they go to work or school or need to be away from their kids, and just share your story as a person, as a voter, as a professional, and really be open and honest about struggles that you're having. This is a really great opportunity as an early childhood educator working with families to really be an advocate for engaging them in the process too. I think a lot of families maybe aren't as connected to the Buildback Better Plan from a childcare perspective until it's really shared with them in a meaningful way. So even if you're able to share what the bill includes, if you're able to talk a little bit about some of the support that you are offering by calling your senators and using social media to connect with your elected officials, this is an opportunity to really engage and mobilize families in being a support for a service that is really essential and critical for them to be able to have a safe, healthy place for their children to be.
If you were to, in 1 or 2 sentences, describe early care and education, like what your vision is for an equitable field, what might you say?
I think an equitable early childhood education field would mean that all children, and especially minority children and Black and brown children that have historically been underserved or inappropriately served, have access to the highest quality, most supportive, most cutting edge, most thoughtfully delivered care when they aren't able to be with their families, and that it isn't a replacement for what they get with their families, but that it is an extension of what they get from their families, and that they are really able to spend their days with highly qualified, highly educated, highly supported, highly compensated professionals that are there and interested in giving them the best possible care.